Hello YouTube, I'm Megumi Mary, the transgender gamer girl with a heart of gold and love for all things nerdy, and welcome back to my playpen. Today I thought I would discuss how I actually got introduced to the CGL community. For those of you who don't actually know, CGL stands for Caregiver Little. The community kind of falls into the category of age play and age regression, but those are two different things for a different video. I was first introduced to Caregiver Little dynamics, actually the whole community through when I was younger. I actually had incontinence issues growing up. So, when I got my first computer, I went online, because the fact that I had these issues most of my life was just something that always bothered me. Fecal incontinence is just a really embarrassing thing for a kid to deal with. So I was just trying to see if I wasn't alone, I guess is the best way to put it. And that's kind of how I stumbled onto this whole thing. I learned about age play, the adult-sized diapers, and just like adult babies, and just all sorts of stuff. From there, I actually branched out into the larger kinks. I learned about BDSM and other, parts of kink communities through ABDL, adult baby diaper lover stuff, and it was originally a way for me to cope with the fact that I couldn't control my bathroom habits. I had incontinence. So it originally became a way for me to cope with that, but then over time it kind of evolved and it just became like a really powerful coping mechanism for me. The worst years of my life, I lived in a group home for people with disabilities. I kind of painted a target on my back when I started living there because I had reported the abuse of the other clients that I had seen firsthand. And it was essentially a he said, she said situation, and no one would believe me. But in the end, I ended up painting a target on my back, and there was so much gaslighting from the staff and the people who worked in the group home. And it was just the worst years of my life. Then, diving into this stuff, the age play, the age regression stuff, it helped me through those times of my life. It definitely helped me walk off the edge of suicide multiple times. And if it wasn't for this, I'd probably be dead right now. I'm not going to lie. But that doesn't mean that this has been a solely positive experience for me. During my time at the group home, the group home had discovered my little stuff. I had been hiding them, and they started using that against me, saying just outright lying. Saying that I was only incontinent because of the diapers and, because I wanted to wear them. Meanwhile, this has been an ongoing thing, like, my entire life. And it just, and it kind of, like, put a great divide between me and my family at the time. Because at that point, there was so much gaslighting, and I wasn't at the best at that time because of my response to all the gaslighting at the time. So, it was hard. And after all that, I tried to distance myself from all this. But it was hard. Not being able to... I spent years like trying to deny that this was ever a part of me, and even that, it just really messed me up. So when I eventually finally managed to get my own place and, started exploring this side of me, it's just, I've never been happier in my life. It's just been a very wholesome, freeing experience for me overall. And yeah, there are parts about it that I don't, that have their history to them, which is why it was so hard for me to make the decision to do this YouTube channel, because there is that trauma of it being used against me. But I'm ready to move past that kind of stuff. I'm ready to just be happy. So, I started to explore this side of myself, and, I just, I found a caregiver. She lives overseas in England. I've just started to like really embrace who I really am, and it's been great. Kind of going in circles here a bit. I'm sorry, this is kind of like unscripted, in the moment. So a few things. Little age. My little age actually tends to be on the very low side, 0 to 2 range. Specifically, mostly because of how I was introduced to everything. That's kind of where most of my interests lie. The like really like little baby aspects of, like the adult baby stuff is where I find myself most comfortable. Which again helps with the incontinence. And it was also my introduction to other aspects, other kinks. I learned about pet play, and from there, my dog persona kind of was born. And once I really started to like embrace myself, I don't know, it's hard to explain. But it's like, how do I explain it? It's like acknowledging something that you've been running from isn't actually a bad thing. Because, this was something that I was ashamed of for the longest time, but I shouldn't be, because, it started as a coping mechanism. It helps me. It makes me happy, and it's just... it's helped me. I know that if it wasn't for this as a coping mechanism, I would not be alive today. So, for that much, I am grateful. And as kind of a thanks to that aspect, I'm just going to embrace this side of me more, and that's this YouTube channel. So, sorry for this long rambling, but, this was kind of, again, a very unscripted, kind of like real, from the heart kind of conversation. So, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Don't stop being awesome.